Hi. Okay, I want to talk today about talent. What is talent? How useful is it, and what does it mean? Um, so, talent is a certain natural ability to do something, right? For whatever reason, you were born with a genetic makeup that allowed you to be able to do something, or you were raised in such a way that it the skills in question were naturally acquired by you and you didn't have to work in order to develop it. It's just something that comes naturally. You just sort of automatically know how to do the thing or you know how to do it well. This is generally what we view as talent. A person is talented. They're just able to do it. Just a magical, natural phenomenon. Um, and we hear it in a couple of different areas generally. We hear it in the sports world and we hear it in the arts world. Uh, Even though you can be a talented mathematician, you can be a talented chef, you can be a talented historian, you can be a talented anything can come naturally to you or not come naturally to you. You can be suited for certain things and not suited for other things. Your sort of natural, biological, uh, uh, um, nature versus nurture. Both the nature and the nurture could be supporting you in certain areas and not be supporting you in others. Um, so that is a truth that exists. You have a certain baseline ability to do certain things. And there are some people who have a higher baseline than you do, and there are some people who have a lower baseline than you do, and that is what we refer to as talent. Now, the thing that gets us in trouble is that we hear about arts education, we hear about theater, and we say to ourselves, oh, well, I'm talented, or, well, not really talented. And we stop there. It's an excuse to stop when we say that we're talented or we're not talented. We say, well, I'm talented, so I don't really have to work very hard because it just comes naturally to me. I'm awesome, and so I'm just going to keep being awesome, and I'm going to be just fine because my mom told me I'm talented, or my aunt told me I'm talented. All my friends, they're so impressed by my talent. So, I'll go to school to get a degree, but I don't really need to work very hard in order to develop skills. So that's a problem, right? That is a problem uh, if you care to grow in any meaningful way, if you want to truly be uh, excellent, if you want to achieve excellence in your life, if you want to learn things and develop and grow as a person and actualize your potential, which means be everything you can possibly be. If you want to do that, then the talent trap is really troubling and something to be careful of. The other side is also troubling. I just can't do it. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm not talented. I can't do that. That's the thing that I can't do. Uh, this is also troubling because there are people who take arts classes, theater classes, they take it as an elective, they take it as fun, they take it because they want to develop certain skills that the class may provide. Well, when it gets difficult, and it will get difficult, when it gets difficult, it is easy to say, oh, well, I guess I'm just not good. I was told I'm not good, and and so here's the proof. I'm not good. So I'm never going to be good because I'm just not talented. I just can't do it. So whatever. And then you wipe your hands off, throw your hands up, and then you're done. Uh, Now, that's also a problem. That's a big problem because neither of those things are true. If you're talented, then that is not an excuse not to work. And if your talent is maybe a little more modest or less, your baseline is lower than somebody else's, that does not mean that you can't grow and develop and achieve an equal level as anybody that comes along that you would say is talented. So this gets to a really important issue in education. Talent is a fixed mindset. It's I am this thing. I'm a fixed entity. Myself is a fixed thing. I am basically the same person I always was. I'm the same person I always will be. And our society, if you pay attention, our society likes to support this myth. Well, you got to be yourself. You just got to be yourself. Just trust yourself. Oh, he's so good. He's so talented. He should be an actor because he's meant for that. So we hear all these messages about talent and about fixed mindset and about being good at certain things and about being true to yourself and just being who you are and not changing, not trying to be anything other than you, just be yourself. Well, this is a really limiting philosophy of life. And it comes up against education all the time, because why educate yourself? Why try if you are basically just stuck as this stationary, isolated, immovable thing? What I'd like you to consider is that you are a movable, growable entity. You are something that can grow and change and adjust, maybe infinitely. There is maybe no limit to what you're capable of. Now, you might be thinking, well, maybe with a grain of salt, okay, maybe, but it kind of sounds false. It sounds like a manipulation. It sounds like a lie to me. I basically know who I am. I mean, clearly, and I basically know what I'm capable of. So, yeah, it's a nice little pep talk, David. But I think there's a limit to what you're talking about, and it sounds a little like a manipulated lie. It sounds a little like just an empty pep talk, platitude. Well, I'd like you to do a little thought experiment. I want you to imagine your life 10 years from now. If you are, in fact, a fixed, immovable, this is basically what you got, like what you're good at, you're good at, what you're not good at, you're not good at, and you might grow a little bit, you might learn some things, you might learn some skills, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, you are the way you are. And imagine, if that's true, what your life will look like 10 years from now. After you've graduated, if you've graduated, what kind of job, what kind of money, what kind of life, what kind of friends, what kind of family, what kind of adventures, what kind of what is in store for you? How much can you grow? What type of work are you doing? What type of excellence are you achieving? What type of excellence are you achieving if you assume that you're basically, for all intents and purposes, pretty much what you're ever going to be? So now I want you to do this thought experiment. I want you to think about your life in 10 years. And I want you to really consider if you can grow, if you can learn, if you can develop as much as you want to. What would your life look like? Even if this is a fantasy, let yourself fantasize, let yourself daydream. If you could develop as much as you wanted to, if you could have your dreams realized in 10 years, what would that look like? Take a second to really daydream about that. Consider that. What does it look like in 10 years? With a growth mindset? A growth mindset. You can grow, you can change, you can work, you can adjust, change. What does that look like? And then what did you start with? What was your fixed mindset? Are they the same? If they're the same, then maybe you already have a growth mindset. Maybe you already have a growth mindset, or maybe you think you're just about as great as you could possibly be, and you know, and so your wildest dreams are like, yeah, of course that's going to happen because I'm awesome. So okay, if that's the case, then more power to you. But for those of us who maybe go under the radar of what we're capable of, your fixed mindset view, I'm willing to bet, is probably a little under the radar of what you would like in your wildest dreams to have happen. Now you may say, well, that's all well and good. We can all fantasize and daydream. So yeah, I want to be here in 10 years. I could fantasize about that. But I think I'll probably end up here. So if you have a growth mindset, if you try your hardest to believe in that, you stand a much better chance of attaining somewhere higher than what you started with, than what your daydream was if you're just a fixed entity, if you're just basically what you're going to be. So if you disagree with me, if you think that this sounds like a manipulation or a lie, and it's like in one ear out the other, it's like it's a nice pep talk, but I'm going to whatever. If you disagree with me, if it sounds like I'm lying to you, if it sounds like a manipulation, then you should do everything you can. You should do everything you can to try to disagree with yourself and agree with me. Get yourself, argue with yourself, have it out with yourself, and get yourself to believe in a growth mindset. Get yourself to really believe in your capabilities, your capacities. Get yourself to believe in that. Try your hardest. Because if you do convince yourself and you live your life in that way, that is your best shot at achieving whatever you want. Whatever you want. You might not get the dream. Maybe you won't get the dream, but maybe you get under the dream. Maybe you'll get halfway between what your dream was and what the baseline, I'll just kind of shuffle through life because I am what I am. Maybe you'll get just one little step higher than that. But you'll get somewhere further than you thought possible if you believe in this growth mindset. And if I'm wrong, you have absolutely nothing to lose. What did you do? You spent your time, you spent your life working and trying and struggling to achieve something greater than yourself, trying to be something greater than yourself. That's not a waste of time. That's a noble pursuit. So, you have everything to gain by believing in me and those of us who talk about this growth mindset thing. You have everything to gain, and you have absolutely nothing to lose. Not one thing. The only thing you have to lose is maybe some comfort. And that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. With growth mindset, in education circles, you might hear people talk a lot about grit. Grit. Grit means it's this capacity that some people have to get kicked in the face, to work hard, to sweat and grunt and try to make it happen, and to persevere discomfort, rejection, hardship, and keep going. It's easier said than done, but the first step to achieving grit is achieving a growth mindset, because maybe you're not gritty. Maybe you like comfort. You like to phone it in. You like to shuffle along. You like that. You don't want to have to work that hard. life is hard, you know? Maybe that's the case with you. And if that's true, then take an honest look at yourself and call it as you see it. Be honest. All right. Uh, but if that's the case, if you just, I can't get out of bed in the morning, this is just the way I am. If I just don't do homework, or I don't schedule myself, or I'm not really disciplined in my schedule, or I'm not this, or I'm not that, whatever it is. If you believe in a growth mindset, then you can work on your grittiness. You can work on your capacity to persevere, to keep going, to withstand hardship, to withstand discomfort. You can work on that. You can develop it. So those are the two things that are going to predict your success. If you have a growth mindset and you have a good sense of grit, an ability to deal with hardship and to work hard and to withstand difficulty, these are predictors of success. So I want you to keep this in mind as you work here in the theater program, in whatever theater classes or productions you participate in. It's hard work. It's hard work. It requires you go inside. It requires that you ask questions. It requires that you be proactive and participate in your education. Nobody's going to give it to you. I'm not going to say the perfect thing that's going to make it, oh, right. It's not this banking system of education where I'm going to lecture to you and I'm going to fill your head with the currency of all this information. I'm just going to give you all the facts and figures. You're going to sit there and then you'll regurgitate it on a test and then pat you on the head and give you an A and you're off. It doesn't work like that. You're up on your feet engaging. You're finding skills. You're finding ways of thinking and accessing things inside yourself. It's abstract. It's confusing sometimes. It can slip through your fingers. It can be hard to put your finger on. It requires that you ask questions. It requires that you be up and wrestling and looking. And when you don't understand something, you look it up. And when you don't understand something I say, you ask a question. You Google it. You put in the question in Google. You find the definition to the word. You find examples. You find examples of the kind of things that we're talking about that's confusing you. You read the play, you don't understand it, you read it again, you don't understand it, you read it again, you take it apart, you ask yourself questions, you talk to yourself, you do whatever it takes to really participate in your education. And that's what this theater program is about. It's about you participating in your education, believing that you are something that can grow, and having the dedication and the persistence to be gritty and to deal with hardship and obstacle. And no matter what, keep going. Thank you.